listening to, watching, hearing, smelling, tasting, and feeling sex, drugs, and skincare. Like and subscribe. Welcome back to Sex, Drugs, and Skincare. Hi, I'm Nikki Davis, Jr.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for welcoming me back to my show.
Thank you. I had no idea I was here until you said welcome back.
I know.
I was like,
We were
what?
blending in with the scenery, by the way.
I was just noticing
I know,
that.
right? Yeah, I like it though. It's like, yeah, you.
I don't know if it happens just because of the clothes I happen to have clean
Uh-huh.
or if I'm doing it on purpose, but this is,
Could be a little bit of both, and then you've got your stripe through your pajamas that matches as well.
That's true. I like been a big fan of purple and blue and reds. I like those kind of combination colors.
It's a shame to have to kick you out once the guest comes over here and put
That's
you
the
on
only reason I like, well, you have to
200-year-old
say,
sofa.
dance like no one wants you to be there. I think something like that. But also, when no one's looking, you just do it for the second. You know? You do it for like
this is for the thumbnail.
This is for the thumb. I do it for the thumbnail.
Even
do it for the thumbnail.
Do it for the thumbnail.
Mm-hmm. That's like when you're just like, I just gotta get this shit over with. Do it for the thumbnail.
Yeah.
So it's not. I was here. People don't realize you left.
Just taking a picture of me. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're like, wow, was he good in the movie?
That's perfect.
He was there for 20 seconds. I don't know.
Well, it's like we do the podcast for the clips, basically. So yeah. So now to do the clips for the thumbnail.
Right. If anybody actually watched or listened to the podcast, all you hear was but but the teasers are just when we actually speak.
That's when we speak. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
That's going to be on accident from now on. That's going to be terrible.
Well, I'm your skincare therapist. Wait, what am I? Stand-up esthetician, licensed comedian.
Yep.
This is my co-host, boyfriend / Sherpa / set decorator. You've done a lovely job today.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You chose the color of the balls.
Yeah. I decided to kind of, I wanted to be different and keep it the same as last week. Because what it does is it creates a level of stability, yet, will he do it the same way?
Yeah, that's kind of like our relationship a little bit.
You're right. It looks like it is. Keeps it spicy. We have it's like one of those stores you pass by on the freeway where it says fireworks and it looks like a huge warehouse. And then when you get to it, you realize that it's just a tiny place and the giant sides are just built, So it looks like it's a big place.
I never even noticed that.
Yeah, that's how we are. We're happy now, but when we go home, it's just fisticuffs. Fisticuffs, and we just yell at each other. The cats have to keep us apart. Yeah, that's our relationship. It's a fireworks store that's misleading.
Misleading fireworks store?
I don't know why I picked a fireworks store.
I don't know either.
But I think we're explosive.
We are explosive.
Yeah. So yeah, you can save it any way you
want.
want.
We have a couples counselor.
We do.
Very explosive.
I have three therapists right now.
You have only two, right?
Well, one of them just subscribes the meds. Subscribes.
Oh, that's right. That's true. Yeah.
I got a monthly subscription to antidepressant
to being
medication.
not an asshole.
Pretty much, yeah. Really, it's the moods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I'm saying the mood shifts. That's what I have. I have a hard time dealing with other people's mood shifts.
Oh, is that what it is?
No, it's mine.
I know.
It's me.
Well, thank you for saying that.
Thank you. And I'm glad to find out that you re-upped your license, your comedic license.
I did, yeah.
Last week she was thinking about doing it because wasn't last week you said you were unlicensed?
I was, because I didn't want to take the state board test because it wasn't exciting enough. Board.
That's the kind of writing.
B-O-R-E-D. Okay, fine.
No, I like it because I can tell you re-upped it again because instead of saying I get the state board exam because they'd be too bored, you said bored and then you said so it's because it's not so exciting. You didn't say bored twice, and that's good writing.
Speaking of bored.
That's another good improv.
Yeah, we're going to teach you some bad improv.
Great.
Some good bad improv, yeah. That's a good one
bored,
too, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good, bad, and ugly, but not on this skincare podcast. There's no ugly on this podcast.
No. Well, I haven't had anybody ugly on this, have I?
No, but there's no
so.
Ugliness.
No.
It's all good shit.
It's all good.
We have to.
I
have
can
to
have
do
language, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think you can. I mean, yes.
I have language.
Everybody. She has language. This is such a great day.
This has been the best podcast I've ever done. Thank you so much for.
We'll see you next week. Tune in next week.
This is a great day.
I know. Well, this came up very. This was not. It was planned, but not planned.
Yeah.
So
wait, we planned to have a Friday. Let people. At least we planned to have a Friday. But what happened to this day? We didn't expect it to happen.
Well, originally, I invited a friend whom I've not seen for a while because she's moved away. But I've known her for I don't know, like 14,
Girl,
15 years,
14,
something like
15
that.
years, bananas.
It's crazy. And she was going to do it. We were going to do it on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know, 24 hours later, you were like, hey, I have a meeting. Can you see me? I mean, do you want to, can I come
Let's do it
in?
in person.
And I was like, hell yeah, you can. And
I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't either.
Yeah.
I almost didn't text you the first time. I was like, she's going to be busy. She doesn't have time to Zoom with me. And now you're here.
I was wondering, I was like, she hasn't reached back out about that. We talked about this months ago.
Maybe she's bored with
No,
me.
God, no.
We're back to board.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, she brought it back around,
It's
babe.
full circle.
Yeah.
Back to board.
It's the name of the second name of our podcast.
Back to board.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like back to black. It's back to board.
Back to board.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
All right, well, let's bring her out.
Okay, let's do it.
Should we do that?
I'm absolutely excited. You've talked about this person for as long as I've known you,
Mhm.
and that's been too long. that I've known you, not to talk to a person. I don't want to.
Okay, that's
your
true.
friend is very
Thank
nice.
you.
But no, I Josh. Yeah, I've known about this person for quite some time. You reference her.
Mm-hmm.
I've
I've talked about
we've
you a
seen
lot.
you.
Oh, boy.
Well, I don't want to give away what she does, but if you look up at a television that you're watching,
Uh-huh.
you might see her on there.
You might have seen
There's
her.
a very good chance that you've seen her on there, and I've seen her on there, and you've been very, very nice about her. So let's bring her out. You give her the intro, though.
Okay, so I'm just going to give you the credits that I can recall. Do you
Oh,
have
Lord.
anything else that you want to mention or anything?
I don't know what you're going to say.
I
Let's
know.
see what
All right.
happens.
All right, so she was in The Grudge. She was in Anacondas, which is what, the second one?
Yeah, baby. They're remaking it into a comedy now. Did you know this?
It's gonna
No
be- oh
way.
my-
It
Paul
should be a
Rudd
musical.
and Jack Black.
Shut it.
It's going to be fucking
Oh
great.
God, I
It's
wish
gonna
you
be
were going to be in
ridiculous.
it so I
It's
could come
gonna be
visit you
great.
on set. That's amazing. She was on The Chew.
Oh, yeah. That
was a
was,
guest on
that
the
was
show.
so fun.
That was so fun. I remember.
I missed that show. That
It's
was
gone
the
now, right?
best. It's gone. They get rid of all the good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Did I already say Private Practice?
No.
She
No.
was Dr. What's her name?
Charlotte King.
That's right, Doctor. That's such a great name for a
It
doctor,
was.
Dr. Charlotte King. It's so
Mhm.
suiting for this person on Private Practice, and she was dressed in very little clothing for a very long time in my life.
Yes.
Where
And that was just on your table.
yeah, that's true too.
Table to screen.
Yes, what's that? From table to screen.
Yeah.
The farmer's market of acting. Yeah.
Oh my God.
yes,
Nikki
exactly.
would help me get ready for every time they made me drop trowel.
That's
like
all
that's
right.
a
Oh my
real thing.
God.
Yeah, baby.
Oh my God. All right, we're going to bring you over here. You guys coming to the couch right now. I'm so excited to bring her here. Katie Strickland. Yeah. Yay.
With my friends, with the mystery man that I heard so much about back in the day.
Wow, I had no idea that you had friends back then.
You had to shit talk something.
I know.
Mhm.
Yeah. Exactly. Thank you.
Mhm. I didn't return text messages a lot. I'm sorry.
You did.
I know I
Just
did.
a couple times you did. And I talked to my therapist about it.
Aw.
I had to get advice.
She was sweet on you. I actually, because you had changed so much in your life. It was, if the South has hair salons where people talk shit,
Mhm.
the table, it would go from like, because I really fell hard for you, hence the shirt.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
and you know, I remember there would come a point where like we'd have to get our chatter out of the way, and then I mentally had to relax because your hands were so good, but it was really hard not to want to keep talking shit.
We'd have to stop at some point. Can I put this over there or a little bit more? Just in case? Yeah.
Tawdry.
Okay, there you go. Just wanted to see it next to your face.
Yeah. If I had a dollar.
We'll be right back.
Yeah. That's what we say after arguments too. In the
When
middle of an
in the middle of
argument.
an argument, and like one of
If
us
I
will
had a
look over
dollar.
and just go, "We'll be right
No,
back,"
we'll be right back. Yeah.
just to break it up.
Good.
Yeah.
That is good.
Sometimes we remember.
How is
Yeah.
it being involved with a counterpart that is as wicked smart and funny as you are? Is it hard to be communicative in a love language or in these moments where relationships get challenging because you're both fucking funny? Or does that break the tension? I'm always so
I
curious.
think it
about
breaks
this.
the tension, but maybe
We've definitely been learning communication.
Yes, very much so.
Relearning, you know?
And I personally think that Nikki's way smarter than I am because she's just
Good
she's
that you know that.
Yes,
I
thank you.
absolutely know that for sure.
Yeah.
She just picks up on stuff I don't, and you see things from a different perspective.
You pick up
so-
on stuff that I don't want to pick up, like my clothes
clothes
and my
and
dishes.
dishes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. But I find it as a sense of anger, you know, so it's fine. I just look at it as like a
when I don't clarify much myself.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like the, you know, I see you as a normal person. I don't see you as like the wicked, super smart person. But I do see it and I feel it as you're a funny person, you know?
Don't make this whole thing about me. Let's talk about you.
No, it's fun. I missed you.
I know. I missed you too.
We can talk. What do you want to know?
Well, you already said your son was 11.
Which is bananas.
It is incredible. I remember when you were so pregnant with him.
I was so pregnant. I loved being pregnant.
You did?
I loved it. I mean, yeah, because I think that was probably really and truly, especially like doing what I do for a lifestyle. I don't think I understood the value of my body until I became pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I was like, oh, this is so much bigger than my ego. Like,
right.
And he was the only successful pregnancy I had. So it was like out of the bottle, first attempt. So, and I was 37. So I think, you know, you have such a life. Yeah. You've lived, I think we'd been married for, was it 7 years? Yeah, I think we've been married 7 years when I got pregnant. So we'd had time.
37 is later on the spectrum of age.
Geriatric pregnancy.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but yeah.
That's what they call it, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Not offensive at all.
No.
But if you're 37, they don't consider you geriatric though, right? Or is this geriatric a word that's just lumped?
Oh, there's so many. Well, and that was a long time ago because now I'm 49. So that was, a minute ago.
You
Crazy.
look amazing.
Nikki, grab the iPad
your
real
fault.
quick.
What?
Can you imagine what I would look like if you were still slapping me weekly?
You'd be like
I think about it all the time. When I'm like, like I said, when I see shit in high def and I'm just like, ugh, where's Nikki?
Oh my God.
Like that's what it comes down to sometimes.
You look amazing. I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah.
You know what? There's such a grace with aging, I think, that I could not have foreseen. It's so much less pressure in some ways to actually be the age where you're just like, well, fuck, there's not a lot I can do about it now. It's like Tom York said it best, gravity always wins. It's just going to fucking happen. Yeah. Like, and I think there's a degree with which it's so tempting to just get sucked in to the self-loathing and the fear and all that. But I swear having a son, and when I did, I had an acupuncturist at the time, and she said to me, because she had this experience where she was in the bath and she had her son, and her son was little. I want to say it was like 6 months maybe. And her husband came into the bathroom while she was in the bath with the baby. And she said something about her belly, like something very derogatory about her big fat belly or something. And he said, don't talk that way about yourself in front of our son. Because you are the framework of what beauty will always be to him. And if he hears that negative self-talk, that's what his standard will become. And when she said that to me, it was just like, wow, this self-loathing cannot participate in my dynamic with my child. No, it
ripples outwards.
Yeah, and it really, and it also just, it's exhausting to like do that to yourself. So I mean, like I think a lot of people obviously are talking about The Substance. Have you guys seen it?
I have not seen it yet.
I mean, I love horror anyway, and I think the examination and the execution is worth watching. I would not say it's for everyone, but it should be, I think, particularly. And I feel like if you're here, also, they didn't shoot in LA. When you see it, it'll blow your mind. But it's so balls out, like, and I've heard Demi Moore talk about this quite a lot, like the way we can be so harmful to ourselves with the way we talk. And all this long-winded to say, I think when you and I met, you were such an adjacent part of self-care. You were built-in self-care that was needed for the job so that I looked good for work. But also it was so not about that. And I think about that a lot. I just don't, with our kid, I don't want him to ever remember me in this moment as someone who didn't have self-love.
I can remember my mom, she still does it. She will not allow any photo to be okay. And I grew up that way, thinking that I was never, and so I learned how to make the worst faces on camera because I was so like thrown off that I didn't know how to smile on camera anymore. I've only recently learned it since, when you learn you have to do a headshot and you have to know how to smile.
But you're so foxy. You're such a foxy. You've
so
always
sweet.
been no, I'm not. It's the truth.
I look better moving than I do still.
Ooh,
That's a good. I like that. I look better moving than I do still.
Yeah, well, I mean, every picture that you've taken that's good of me, I don't know you're about to take it.
How come your dating profile is nothing but videos?
Also, if that was a fortune cookie,
yeah.
then you could add in bed.
Yes. Oh, in bed.
Oh,
that's right.
there we go.
Yeah.
I look better moving than still. Well, that's...
I'm fucked with 2 comedians. I can't keep up with you, and I know this
we
out of the
can't keep up
gate.
with you.
It's because I talk a lot.
That's good. Well,
all right. So what?
I was just going to say, yeah, my mom had the same, and so all of us girls learned that we were less than perfect, and have striven, yeah, our whole lives to be perfect. I am finally at the point where I'm just like, it's not going to be perfect, quote unquote. I'm just going to do
that
the best
word
of
not
what I
allowed
have.
in the house.
No,
really, like I have a real problem with that word.
Yeah,
I do because it just is resounding mediocrity if you're striving for perfection because it's so outer and it's so other and it's so not.
It doesn't
in
even
real time.
exist. Perfect doesn't exist unless you frame it yourself in whatever you think perfect is.
It's always a comparison too of like what you are and what you think it should be. And comparison, what do they say? Comparison
it's death to creativity.
Yeah,
it
does.
It really, and it's interesting too. Like I remember the makeup artist on Private Practice, the genius Sergio Rivera Lopez, who now has an Academy Award after that show.
Oh my God.
He's with Viola Davis. So
That's
Ma
pretty
Rainey.
cool.
He's the best. I completely understand why she snatched him up, and she should because they're both great people. All that to say, I remember being in the trailer because the one thing I will say about actors, and you think about the narcissism and the insecurity, particularly if you're a woman, you are sitting in front of your face at 4 or 5 in the morning when you need more sleep, all the things, or if you've had too much sodium the night before. It's just like your face is right in your face. And it's unnatural to look at yourself that much. Like it's completely screwed up. But I remember him saying, he was like, you've really got to appreciate this because I look at photos of myself and I think, what the fuck was I talking about?
Right. And
it's so true. It's like, who does that?
Sometimes I'll even give it 6 months and I'll look back at it and be like, what the hell was I thinking? Like that. I thought it was so horrible.
Yeah.
It'll go to anything. Even if I've written something down and I go back, I'm like, this is funny. Did I write this? This is my handwriting. Instead of saying like, oh, this is cool. I'm like, I don't remember this.
Yeah. You
just don't, in that moment, you can cloud your own perception.
Well, it can't be that good because I did it.
Right. Exactly. What I mean? That's the mindset.
It's like that restaurant across the street can't be that good. It's too close to us. You know what I mean?
Well, we got to get over that shit because, like, honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's because this has been such a bananas year so far, but I think my gratitude has been really immense. It really because if you don't have that, it's just abysmal. I think right now it just feels
then
that
nothing
way.
is is how you want it.
No, and it is. There was a really lovely. I saw this great interview with Laura Dern, who I think is just a brilliant.
I love her so much.
Oh my God, everything about her, love her. And she was asked. I want to say the question was, "What advice would you give your younger self?" or one of those kinds of questions. And I think about it all the time. Keep your eyes on your own paper.
Oh,
and it's just like, if we did that more, what would we actually see? What would we do? Like how would our life look?
You can't compare things. It's just, is that what you're talking about?
It's human.
Yeah.
It's so human. And I think we're emboldened to do it with sort of you talk about the generation that we came up in. I think you're emboldened to just like self-hate to a certain degree because there was a lot of money was being made on self-hatred and insecurity. I think we were very much branded with that. That was the brand. And that was, and honestly, it's funny because when I think about like all the skincare and all the stuff, when I met you, it very much changed my perception about how to relate to the largest organ on my body. not my ass.
Yeah.
But is that an organ? It plays like an organ sometimes.
It's very musical.
tuba.
Very musical. No, but it is interesting. Like I related to my skin differently because of you. And certainly with my pregnancy, I was so hardcore because of you and what you taught me.
Good.
Now I need to remember that more.
What are you talking about?
What you put on your body.
What you put on, anything you put on your body goes into your body.
Yeah.
But also I like that you and I would work on things like that would make your skin look healthy. I wasn't trying to make you look perfect. I was trying to get rid of, any lymphatic stagnancy, like lift many muscles that, stuff the fat pads where they're supposed to be for a little while. And then your body, you were doing the treatments too. So then, and that's also lymphatic drainage and it's good for your nervous system. So never got the sense that you were just doing it for like, I've had actors that came in specifically just for their ass so that they could do a movie. I'll tell you later who it later is. I can't remember. Oh yeah.
Oh boy. Well,
Ving Rhames?
Yeah.
What? Amazing.
Jeez.
But you know what? I mean, it's also that thing of like, hey man, it's your package, to each his own.
Sure.
But also, I have to say, and when it happened, there's the brilliant Wendy O'Brien, the casting director. Do you know who she is? She's a genius. Abbott Elementary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant. She's brilliant. She is such I have a love affair with casting directors because I don't think any of this happens in anyone's life unless you have support. And they are the ultimate cheerleader for a person in my position.
That's cool.
And it can only go to a certain degree, and she loves comedy, right? But Wendy is brilliant. And I remember going in for something and being very, very close. And it ended up, shifting last minute. I'd bought the champagne and was so pissed off when it changed. But she had championed me. And I remember when I came in to talk to her about what was happening, what the process would be, she just looked at me and went, I love how your face has aged. And I had that moment of,
It might hurt my stomach a little bit. Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm glad I held out. Like, I'm glad I've held out a little and that there is an actual payoff. And I think there's also the thing of, quite honestly, my bread and butter has not been pressurized. Like some actresses, I feel so deeply for what it must be like to keep that shit up.
Right.
Like that must be exhausting to be that beautiful and to know that if you have one bad day, it's going to be documented.
Somebody will photograph you.
You don't give a fuck about that with me, which is great. It is ultimately, you're able to do more.
You're a natural beauty and you really
I grew into my cuteness, so thank you. If you see childhood pictures of me, I'm such a dork ass dork.
That's usually
which
how
is
it works.
Good.
That's how, right. So that's why you have the, what's the word I'm looking for?
Isn't that what dad stands for? Dork ass dork?
Dork ass dork.
Dad.
In my house, just ask my kid.
Yeah.
You have humility though. Is that the right word?
I'll take it.
Yeah. You're not, You're not walking around because if you were in your body, knowing you were as hot as you are at all moments, you would be floating
right back
like
at
this.
you, sister.
Well, thank you. Well,
got all pointy on that.
I felt that.
I was going for the dot in between the girls.
Okay, yeah. I went for this one, but that's okay.
We all have our favorites.
We do. Which one's your favorite?
You have a favorite nipple?
I prefer. Actually, I'm starting to prefer the right
nipple.
one. Yeah, the seventh nipple. I love that movie.
Yeah, but that's the one that
such a good one.
Yeah.
That's the one that gets the itch.
The itch?
The seventh nipple itch.
Oh.
Isn't that what it is? I thought that's what it was.
You need a new dog.
Yeah.
Start fantasizing about other people's pets.
I'm going to start getting real quiet and just listen to the two of you.
Oh my God.
I'm just
Don't
thinking
do
of
that.
dog nipples now.
Yeah.
And animal. You know that all animals have nipples?
Yeah.
Noodle.
Anyways, I want to get to today's topic, which is animal nipples.
No.
Yes.
Today's
I'm
topic.
very well versed.
Okay.
Today's topic is I was trying to get the right title for it, but it's basically like how we get the face that we deserve. And it's the power
Tell
of
me
your own
more.
facial expressions and how our facial expressions can shape and make, which is one of the reasons why you look as amazing as you do is because you are not a crappy person.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you like how I summarized that?
I like that because when you said the topic, I was a little like, Slightly don't understand, but I can't wait. Tell me more. Let's see what and don't know too much. This will be fun.
Well, they say by the time you're 50, you get the face you deserve. And that's because you've been making the expressions over and over again.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right.
That's really beautiful. Well, and life can fuck you up.
Right.
Like life can really harden. And it's interesting because I've played a lot of hard women or like tough bitches or whatever, you know. So there's or tough customers, I suppose. And with that comes certain expressing, but also like my face is crazy. It's so animated. And I think that, I mean, there's no stopping that. And it is funny because sometimes, you know, you really need to call on stillness and processing in a still way.
Mm-hmm.
So
When you're acting, you mean?
Yeah, but being a parent has sort of like knocked that into me. One must get very still, otherwise they're very reactionary.
Okay.
Sometimes it's interesting, but it's and my kid's at the age right now, he's 11 and he's all about pulling faces about everything. Cause you know, we have to get on him about language cause he's also trying that on and we try to be a safe space, but now we're like, okay, maybe we've been a little cavalier because if he can do that at home, just to try it on so he doesn't get in trouble anywhere else.
Wants to make sure he's
obsessed
saying it right.
with comedy, by the way.
Is he?
Like obsessed.
Oh my God.
He doesn't. It's funny. My husband and I met on a horror film. We both died in. And I heard Tony Hale talk about this once in an interview, which I thought was so fascinating.
Tony Hale? I'm sorry.
Tony Hale.
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
brilliant.
I love him so much.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So good. He was talking about how vivid his imagination is. And he was saying that he can't see horror because it's too real to him. And my child is that in spades. Like he cannot anything intense. He's only just seen his first Marvel films this year, I think.
Wow.
Like he couldn't take Cars when he was a little boy because the minute the character was in peril, he was upset. But you give him Jim Carrey or Jack Black or Adam Sandler.
It's so silly.
Well, you know what's amazing? So where we moved to the Midwest to raise him differently.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be the best fit for our child. And because now post-COVID and post-strike, there's no reason to be here unless you were required to fly out, which
you've been called upon. And
I've been called upon and it's easy. And honestly, I couldn't have anticipated how beneficial this was going to be for all of us to have this recalibration. And the thing about the school system he's in now, which is public and as nice as any private school out here even hopes to be, which is bananas. They have, when they go to middle school, which he's not in yet, but he will be, they have this thing called flex period and they have different clubs. They have fly fishing, Swifties.
What?
And stand-up comedy
No
for sixth
way.
graders.
Come on.
So you can find your people. It's basically
This
like,
is our competition now.
Yeah, I
They're
know.
gonna be
you
coming
define
from
who you are. Yeah, the
sixth
sixth graders
Middle school.
in the Midwest. Look out.
Oh man, we better get good.
I have a friend who is in, and I'm just saying, he's in Boise, and he's been reignited his stand-up comedy-ness. He was out here for a while, got too successful, went to Boise, and but no, he's doing really well out there. The scene out there is different, you know. So
it's completely different,
and like that's something that is, you know, that can be like manipulated into like something like, you know, foster good talent or whatnot. So that's pretty cool. Out here, usually I find it's like, get me on camera quick, and then people kind of take off.
Right.
What's also so weird, I mean, it's like the YouTube of it all and all of that. Like it's just very different.
Can be anywhere.
I mean, yes, and oh boy, because I have the kid, like my relationship to all that shit's terrible. But, you know, you can watch podcasts. So there's,
That's
you know,
true.
he's learning to play like White Stripes on trumpet because you can do that. He's
That's
teaching
cool.
himself how to play piano, you know, things like that.
Wow.
Yeah, he's very musical.
I've seen
he's
him.
pretty amazing.
Is he playing the
yeah.
drums or?
He's drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really
He
good.
can sing really well too. I don't know.
We're gonna
Like
have to
this
drown
genetic
him.
shit doesn't run through me. It's like so other, but he's very creative. And I'm interested in that. But I do wonder because his love of comedy, you know, it's so great too. They have children's book. There's this great children's book series called I Funny.
Mhm.
And it actually gives you certain like like Rodney Dangerfield is in it. And he's like, Mom, who's David Letterman? I was like,
That's
let me tell you, son.
Yeah.
Ooh, the mysterious man of geniuses, and now I can show him.
Yeah.
But he read about them first.
Wow.
And it's all about this kid who's obsessed with comedy. It's great.
That's so cool.
But when you figured it out for yourself, I remember after being slapped around, you being like, I'm going to do this thing.
Yeah, because I talked to Maria Del Pret that was on your set on Private Practice, who is also a comedian and a makeup artist.
Yes.
And I had already been thinking about it, and I met her. Do you know her, Maria Del Pret?
Name sounds familiar, but I don't think.
We just met and we were talking about something, and I said, she goes, I'm a makeup artist on the, on the show. And, I don't know. She said something like, "Who are you?" And I don't remember.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Is that your response?
I'm the lady with pizza in my ears. Who are you?
Don't question me. But she said she was a comedian, and I was like, "Tell me what to do." And so she sort of directed me to a class, and then the class you learn like 5 minutes or whatever. You just come up with your own stuff, and then they punch it up, and then off you go. And that was
gotta say, babe, because I think particularly after COVID, my need to laugh, because when I lived in New York prior to coming out here, I'd go see comedy all the time. And then you get in the rat race out here. I mean, I was in walking distance of Largo.
Oh my God.
Like, what the fuck was wrong with me that I wasn't there every single night? But I think, you come to things when you come to things, but certainly post COVID, my need to laugh in community, like I understood why I loved comedy so much, because now for me, like I think about it a lot, and I've watched a lot of comedy, and I've sort of like any time, and it's such the place to be now, like comedy specials, everything. And like when I came out here, it's like I'd run into Sarah Silverman all the time. By the way, still anytime I have, like I've never mentioned, I remember when I met you 100 years ago, and she was great. And I would go to the Comedy Store and stuff because it would be a happening. It'd be something to do. Yeah. And it really occurred to me post-COVID, going back to comedy and seeing the shows and how it felt to be in community that way with laughter. I realized, like, people sort of think about acting, which is what I do. They give it a certain reverence, right? And I do think, yes, there's a certain reverence to it, the vulnerability required, all that stuff. But the fucking comedy and music, the vulnerability, the creativity, the ability to fall on your ass with complete abandon, the bravery of it, it's unparalleled to get up and to just go.
I know,
and to do it every night, to recalibrate every night, to work yourself, to be willing to fail, which I think actors have such a different relationship to failure. Like the risk, and the most interesting actors take the risk and they fail and they fuck it up. And that's why they're great to watch.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's so much required bravery to be in that, particularly like Next Door, 50-seater.
Right.
You can't escape anything in that room. And it's the charge of that. Like I was in London last year around the election, which was so fascinating to hear comedians in another country. Oh yeah. I mean, literally within 24 hours. I think I was maybe 45 hours. 45. I can't. Math is not my specialty. Okay, 72. We'll go 72. That's a nice hard number that I can remember. But I think it was 72 from the time I returned and the election happened. But hearing comedians in another country examine Americans and like me being the asshole in the audience, like, like I couldn't stop. I can't, when I need to laugh, I can't stop myself. I've been so punked in the audience too by comedians because I need to laugh hard. When something's funny, like my body, you can't
stop that.
Now,
I'm going to bring this back around to that is what has made your face the way it is, though, is because you do prioritize things that make you happy and make you laugh. Because
and like with doing comedy, like I think the more vulnerable I feel, the more ridiculous I look, the funnier I'll be. the more relaxed. And I never think about like laugh lines or stuff like that.
Well, no.
Because you're in the moment. You might think about it afterwards, but I just like, you're laughing. I never see somebody that's laughing or having a great time going, man, they're wrinkly.
Yeah, they're,
like,
their laugh lines are so deep. Yeah, what's
like,
going on with those?
They've had a good life.
Smile lines. But and even
when you're out of breath because someone's made you laugh so hard. And the thing too that I love about when you see stand up, because I think this is all very adjacent. I can't not talk about it since I'm with the two of you. There's something about when the comedian's up there and they just take a moment of pause to look out at the audience. And it feels so charged. Like there's a charge to that and vulnerability to that is, it's intimate. There's something very intimate about comedy that you can't escape. Yeah. And some people talk about intimate subjects. You know, there's obviously a lot of people have really made that their bread and butter, and that's always pretty.
You can't escape somebody's eye line. Like when you're in the club, you see what the expressions on somebody's face are from whatever distance they're at. So like, there's no escaping. Everyone's looking directly at that person.
And I'm such a ding. Like I'm this guy.
Yeah.
Like, please make me laugh. I came for it. I'm here. And anytime I see people in the audience are like this, I just think, why did you come?
You know what? Speaking of making a face like that.
Yeah.
I seriously was looking up over here. Tell me, no.
Wait, why is this part of it? Okay, yeah.
Oh, hit done at the
pursing
very top.
lips.
What am I doing?
The I want to fuck the world face? Right. Is that what that is?
The duck lips. Here, do it. Just hit the done. Right here, done.
My husband and I call that the I want to fuck the world.
What's that?
When you see people on the red carpet do this.
Oh,
yeah.
So they scan and they pout and they look like they
That's
might
hilarious.
It's probably a good exercise for those muscles around your mouth, though.
Oh,
if you think about it.
Watch it, Mike.
Yeah.
Magic Mike?
Magic Mike? Yeah. So what were you saying about?
Well, I was just gonna say like,
pursing your lips.
If pursing your lips or having that look where you're like kind of scowling, I feel like those lines stick with you so much faster and deeper.
You get like little micro spasms and little, and then it starts to stick down into your fascia. And so the repetitiveness.
What'd you call me?
Yeah.
Fascia.
Fascia.
We're not going to talk politics today, but yeah.
Oh God.
But we can quote Big Lebowski, you fascist.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, brilliant.
Throw a coffee cup at your head.
Have you ever been to Lebowski Fest? Have you guys done that here?
I want to do it. This is so
you
fun.
must. It's so fun.
I want to do it.
I mean, I'm upset. That movie is like fucking Julianne Moore.
The best. So good.
Unbelievable. Everybody. And it's so funny because we've done Raising Arizona with our kid. We were like, so you want to see comedy. But we have not done that because there's a little too much in there. We reconned Bridesmaids recently because we were like, is he ready? And then we were like,
not yet. No.
No.
The opening scene, she's having sex with him.
And so many different.
Such a funny movie, though.
It's so good. I want him so badly to see the diarrhea scene.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
You said that in unison.
I know.
Buy me a Coke. Who said diarrhea?
Just to this day, Maya Rudolph's slow crawl to street level in that dress.
Oh man,
just my favorite.
It's almost like she's deflating, like the Wicked Witch of the East or the North or whatever.
Yes,
I think it's probably the West.
The West.
The Wicked Witch of the Northwest. That's what it was.
All right, let's get back to this. All right, so
Nikki, let's get back to the subject.
Right. So smile lines are obviously they're going to add warmth to your face, and people are going to pick up on that. Also, smiling increases the endorphins in your brain, even if it's fake. Right?
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and fake laughing does as well. Yeah. Well,
I'm really high right now.
All right, so the eye part is maybe confusing your brain a little bit because you have like a scared eye, but with a fast
scared
mouth.
eye.
Yeah. I love that.
I'm really happy now.
Yeah. Is that when you say stuff like you're like instead of like when you bend over, just kind of go
Yes.
Like almost like
you can't tell if you tell your body that you're like struggling, it's listening to you.
Oh, 100%. Like I will say, because I've done a lot of emotional shit on camera, and it is very true that your nervous system doesn't know. It's interesting. I had to do a self-tape when I was sick.
Oh man.
And I was on Mucinex, and the scene, like the big button on the scene is the person cries and you don't know if it's legitimate or if it's calculated.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to cry on cue after being very swingy in a different direction. And if you're on decongestion, your body will not make tears. It's like,
oh my God, you're so dried out.
I didn't even think about
You're
that. Yeah.
so dried out. It's the weirdest because you're like, I'm so dropped into this, but I cannot produce tears.
I can drool.
And then you stop and you're just like pounding water because you have to do that
yeah.
before crying scenes.
Oh,
but it is interesting. Your nervous system is a wreck after doing that shit.
Because it's
whereas
listening
you
to
must
you.
get, when you know you've killed it, you must be so high when you get off stage.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah, it definitely is a good feeling to it for sure. I can tell when I have a good set and I like it, is that when I get off stage, whoever's on stage, I'll laugh at whatever joke they say, even if it's terrible.
Yes, that's true.
Because I'm like, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, because you're still like in it.
I'm still in it.
Yeah.
And not that they're terrible, but it's just the worst jokes you've ever heard. But yeah, there's definitely a high to it for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Support
Yes.
is
Yes.
good.
Well, so there is a thing called resting face. I know we've probably talked about resting bitch face, but just anything that you're doing that's at rest is going to cause micro little, lines. And like if you're constantly thinking, you've got some serious thinking. Well, I think this is, I forget what the ones
I've made
that are
so
like
many
this.
bad decisions. I can't believe that I've thought like any of this stuff. It's just like the worst.
I know.
Well, genetics too, right? Like I see
Sure.
in my face, I'm seeing stuff that is so genetically predisposed. And it's very interesting too, because even in our kid, I see in his face certain expressions and things. And I'm like, DNA don't lie.
No.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
That's just your muscles are making
It's a memory that goes in from your cells somehow into theirs. It's so crazy.
crazy.
Muscle memory is no joke.
No.
Which is why we're talking about this, because you develop a muscle memory from doing something over and over and over again. And eventually it's going to show up somewhere in a good way or a bad way.
I think it's only bad if you're critical about it. You know, I
Right.
mean, it's like you can really, like, I love seeing certain faces where the life experience, that's really to me, and it is interesting too, aging on camera. Like I can see life experience because, we've
Absolutely.
all been through shit by the time you're at midlife. Everybody, I don't care how good you've had it. You've been through it. You hope you have. I mean, God, I mean, my biggest concern for my child is that he's, apathetic, and he's not. That's not his innate instinct. But it's like, as a parent now, it's like there's so many minefields for that, for this generation to fall into.
Sure.
And we're very activated about trying to prevent that.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that again ties into, if you express boldly, like I embarrass him so hard. He hates going to concerts with me, but I think he secretly loves it because I turn into a 15-year-old again. God help you if it's Jack White or something like that, where I know the lyrics and I can just rage on. I embarrass him so hard. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God.
But it's also, he is seeing me play full out with whatever I'm in. And again, it goes back to like the stand-up and musicians. There's something about the communal experience. Why am I yelling? See? I don't know
You're
what's
getting into it.
happening.
You're passionate about it.
Well, yeah, if I care about something, God help
Oh,
you.
yeah.
I think you
Yeah.
only think you're yelling. We don't think you're yelling.
No.
You're
Turn
good.
the mic down.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure he's got it. He's got you.
Yeah. Well,
It's all the way down,
If
just
I'm
like
going
that.
to embarrass myself, this is a good place for it.
No, you're not. No. Well, yeah, it is a good place for
I have
it. Yeah.
balls behind me.
You-
Ooh, they feel so different.
I know.
Yeah.
Then they
A little
look.
scratchy. You can make them
Scratchy
turn
balls.
let's
Scratchy
see.
balls.
That one, does that turn
La, la.
colors?
Yeah.
You know, it was also, it was very interesting, apropos of nothing, because Will Ferrell is also top of the pops for my kid.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
very age appropriate. But we turned on an interview with Colbert. This is why he loves comedy. When I was pregnant with him, because my husband's last name is Bear and I took his last name like a good Southern girl would. Golly gee. And
I'm sorry.
When I was
make
pregnant-
this stop flashing.
Get
Why?
the remote over there.
Okay.
why? It's like we're
You
at a
like it?
disco.
Okay, I'll
it's
leave
it's
Leave it.
it's murder on the dance floor right now. It's happening.
I'm
Someone's
sorry to
dying
distract
behind you.
from what you were saying.
No, it's, the people would, people always ask pregnant women, "Where are you going to name your kid?" And we used to tell people Stephen Cole. That was the name,
Oh, that's
and they
so-
either got it or they didn't. But if they got it, I was like, "You're my
That's-
people."
I love
knew.
that.
But so Farrell was on, and he was telling the story of how he became a comedian, like how he used to just go and like show up like a janitor in his friend's class at college. Oh my God, look it up. I'm not gonna say anything else. But watching my kid watch this person that always makes him laugh, it was too real. He needed him to be in a scenario and not talk about his process, which I thought, okay, maybe you're not going to be.
I see what you're saying.
But I wonder,
Yeah.
I really do wonder, but watching expressions is all he knows. Like if I came home and was like, dinner time, I can't imagine.
You look like RoboCop a little bit.
Great film.
Yeah, oh, it's one of my favorites. You probably already remember that. I don't know.
Of course,
it's one of my top one movies.
Well, I did not remember that, but that's excellent. Well done, you.
It's a great movie.
It holds up, and if I think they are remaking it. I think they are. Probably
will watch it. Maybe
they did it once.
Yeah.
Again with the remake.
If Peter Weller's not in it, I don't want to see it. And if and also the I forget the name of the other actor that the female with she has her short hair. She's like, Murphy, I'm a mess at the very end.
I'm trying to remember.
I can cook that whole movie.
She was but all the actors came back when they did like the making of RoboCop. Remember the documentary?
That's right. You should watch that. Yes.
I didn't know.
It's a documentary on
it's a documentary. It's really good. Watch it.
It's like a 3-parter, I think.
Because you were a Valley girl,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to bring this up. One of the golden things before we moved that happened was they had the 40th anniversary of Valley Girl at the New Beverly, and Martha Coolidge and everybody but Nick was there.
Oh my God.
Everybody. The writer, the musician.
Whoa.
I mean, it was incredible. And they did a panel afterwards.
I just got
It was
goosebumps.
one of the best days of my life.
When was this?
This was 40th anniversary. So this would have been a year and a half ago.
Well, if it comes out again and you happen to be in town, please, I will go with you.
Oh, I will totally. I would.
That's my other favorite movie.
Well, everybody knows the 43rd anniversary is the big one. So
when they do the
43rd anniversary
the 43rd
party,
anniversary.
Number 7.
Oh, the big 4-3.
Yeah.
We're back to 7 nipples.
Oh,
there
we go. See, it always comes around in like a
nipples.
Nipples.
Is
It
that why
always
you
comes
wore
around
that shirt?
nipples.
Yes.
Your third eye or your third nipple?
You just never
Discuss.
know.
Ooh, they're both shock ring.
Yes.
Oh my
Anyways,
God.
back to
Sorry, I'm terrible.
I'm a terrible guest,
we're
but I'm
good.
happy to be
you're
here.
a perfect guest.
As long as I can make a pun that only I feel confident in, that's fine.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm good.
All right. So, now how to create. Okay. So one thing I wanted to mention too is that with your son and with any kids, if you don't understand, most kids don't understand at first what the comedy is about. They're watching the expression. So that's kind of the only way they know.
Interesting.
What parts are funny, what parts aren't funny.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
That's true. As a baby, you like you like the weird stuff that's not normally there.
Right.
Then that's a kid starts laughing.
Because I remember laughing at stuff that I had no idea why it was funny. And then later
Same here.
watching it and then, now I see why it's funny.
Well, it's also like music lyrics. Like if you think about so many of the power ballads from our youth,
Mhm.
they were so sexual and like
Oh my God, I didn't even think
inappropriate
about
and
that, yeah.
deep. And I was like, let me sing Peter Cetera to the top of my lungs.
Yeah.
I'm in love, like in 3rd grade, dedicating songs. But it's funny because you don't know what you're fucking talking about.
No.
Not at all.
You don't know. I hope you don't.
Yeah.
Or even like Led Zeppelin. Like when I think about,
all the double entendres.
Mhm.
oh my God, I'll be
Tones.
your backdoor man. Give me a break, Robert Plant.
Squeeze
with your
my lemon till
Yeah.
the juice runs down
My leg.
someone's leg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
and
leg.
my little drummer son loves Led Zeppelin.
Oh my
I can't
God.
wait till he's like, Mom, that's got so much res or whatever the fuck he's talking. I can't. I've become the mother who knows nothing and I'm okay with it. I don't need to pick up on this shit.
Tell him to call me if he wants to talk about Jimmy Page because that's my favorite guitar player of all time.
It might get loud. Please tell me you've seen it.
Yes.
Oh,
So good. It's amazing.
So good.
I just love him.
Watching Jack White and is it Edge or The Edge? I never get it right from
Is
you
it
two.
the Edge? I think it's
Edge.
is it Edge?
Maybe it's the edge
the corner.
Edge. Yeah, it's got to be. It's pretty sharp either
Yeah.
way. But
Either way, they're both
yeah.
dying. You can see
Yeah.
them turn into 5-year-olds watching him play.
So great.
And it's so good. Again, expressions.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's so sweet. It's so sweet.
Mm.
Oh, Jimmy Page is the best.
Yeah.
And he's still so good.
So good.
Anyway, that has nothing to do with skincare except he looks great for his age.
He does. Who knows what kind of
they all have
devil
the
worshiper
faces
he's
they
been,
deserve.
That's
worshiping
right.
Alice.
They all have the faces they deserve. They look. If
That's
they were
true.
shitheads,
they got that face.
Yeah.
Robert Plant's
Mhm.
deserve. He's Got it.
Here's what I wanted to talk about too, because we don't have too much time left.
Oh,
but
don't
I
let
wanted
me go.
No. You could do. First of all, let me just get through this. Exercising, doing certain exercises for the face. You can kind of more massage. I think is helpful to like rub out some of the little kinks that you might have in your face. I know.
Nikki.
I know. I'm not
Coconut
trying to sell you on
oil,
me. Yeah.
Nikki. Though castor oil in the Midwest.
Oh,
is
castor
a big
oil is
thing.
amazing. Yeah, it's very viscous.
Yes, it's the viscous.
I love that word. But I wanted to ask you this, and then see what you can tell me about what you think. What are the actors that you feel like are like they have like the most expression roadmaps on their faces that we love so much?
Judi Dench.
Oh,
what a face, man! What?
Let's see. Oh yeah.
Totally.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
God, what a face! And it just to have a lived in face that can on a dime turn into awestruck childlike wonder. When you look at that face, Celia Weston.
Who's that?
She was on Mel's Diner,
Mhm.
but she's also
oh my God,
currently,
she's so good.
she's amazing.
Yes.
I've seen her on set. She's great. Speaking of Will Ferrell and that new
I think I just watched it.
yes, Fortune Feimster's in it. Lori, she's brilliant. She's a Southern comedian.
She was in
What's
Roseanne.
her last name?
Laurie Metcalf?
No, she's
Oh.
a genius.
Okay.
Is it Lori Morgan? No,
I don't
that's
know.
somebody. She's a great stand-up who's Southern. I love her.
I can't picture her.
But
Yeah.
it's a really fun. I loved the movie.
I loved it too. I just don't remember everybody that was in it.
But Celia
unfortunately.
Weston is Reese
Yeah,
Witherspoon's
she's
mother, and
great.
that's a face
Mhm.
that just keeps getting better. More. It's also truthful, right? Like these lived-in
That's
faces.
a really good point. It's
Mhm.
truthful.
It's truthful. You
Mhm.
can't escape. You know, when you see people that have, for whatever their reasons are, succumbed to normative thinking about what the aesthetic should be to have long-standing career.
Mhm.
And look, you know, when I started in this business, you did not work when you were my age. So I'm on playing an esthetician on Chicago
Oh
Fire.
my God, I'm so excited.
Don't let that drop, that little dot. Because I thought of you the minute I was like, esthetician,
Awesome.
I've done the homework.
homework.
Get a good manicure because my hands will be on screen. But will I ever slap a face? I know how to do it.
You know
anyway,
how, yeah.
but the whole thing that's so funny, like Dermot is my husband and we have sexy scenes. And we're like, when we're almost 50-year-old and 60-year-olds getting it on
Never.
network television, like
In a
this
joke,
is
maybe.
amazing. Yeah.
that's
I mean,
great.
it's,
everybody looks so much better though, I think.
but it's because, and also, you know, we're our age and we're getting down and we don't have children on the show. And it's
Right.
like people like to fuck as long as they like to fuck.
Mhm.
How
So true.
wonderful.
Yeah.
We need to identify that your life doesn't end when you're in your 20s.
Oh my God,
But that
please.
didn't happen.
No.
Mm-mm.
And now, I mean, honestly, I think the graceful aging, that's sort of problematic to me. It's like, why does it have to be grace? Why can't that just be, you know?
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you have
Yeah.
to label it?
Why does it have why is there a caveat? And then like there is no roadmap to it. I'm just awestruck because she's kind of my North Star anyway. But Julianne Moore to me is the epitome of stunning, aging.
She has perfect skin.
Jodie
too.
Foster.
Jodie
I mean,
Foster.
all of them.
I love Jodie Foster's face. She
God.
looks like she has lived her life and doesn't give a crap about
And
what
is
anybody
hot.
else. So hot.
So hot, so emotive. That's the thing too. It's like, I think as a human being,
Mhm.
apropos not of the industry we're in, and if you're, God, can you imagine like a
Yeah.
super Botox comedian? Like that would be so boring.
You'd have
me
to bring it up
watch.
on your set, I feel
You'd have
like.
to bring it up on, you'd have to bring it up on stage, and you can't just be like, well, it'll calm down soon, you know, whatever. Like
you could.
because it's right. Yeah, you could. It's right up. I mean, it's right up there, but it's
When I see an actor that's had too much plastic surgery, for my taste,
For my taste,
it just
yeah.
feels dishonest unless it's part of the character.
Well, and it is sometimes part of the character. And it's like,
Yes,
but
and
then you
that's
go to
fine.
like, how did Catherine O'Hara do that? How did she do that?
I feel like she's got tape or something.
Yeah,
I don't.
well, and
yeah.
I mean, listen, I've been on I remember having my face taped because I had to play a younger version of myself.
Oh my God.
And I remember the makeup artist having worked on certain actresses who were heroines of mine and just telling me, like, they always wear the tape and they're in their 70s and still wearing the tape. And they look amazing.
And I love that it's not permanent.
I'll give you another great face.
Yes.
And she's been a co-star of mine, and I really would love to see her win the Academy Award, is Isabella Rossellini. That face.
You worked with her?
I did on Shut Eye.
Oh my God.
I mean, Hero wears the cape. She is a divine creature.
I just got goosebumps.
She's
so fantastic. I love her.
But like, talk about not taking the bait, like being known as one of the most beautiful human beings walking the planet, making a career out of your beauty. She's an artist. Like, she is a hardcore artist. But like, you can't get away from how beautiful she is. And she, to me, is more beautiful. She's just lit from within anyway, but that fucking face, and it's aged, and she has, I mean, it empowered me to be with her, because I'll tell you, it is hard when you're with people and you're just like, I understand, and I don't judge anybody. It's your instrument, it's your body.
Never judge anybody in front of them. That's the number one rule.
Should we start going hard our last few minutes? Who do you want to go hard on? Ving Rhames again? He'll kick your ass.
He will. I don't want to.
Back to what you were saying though with Isabella Rossellini. I think I heard a quote of her saying like her favorite like beauty secret was smiling.
Ah, believe it.
Because you just look better when you're smiling. Everything's lifted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, sometimes you can't not smile. Like I smile so hard sometimes I'm like, calm down. I've seen pictures of me where I'm like, that's actually a disaster. But you know what? It came from a place of love.
That's right. What do you think about this and how they got these faces? Okay, so for warm and kind people, I came with Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep, Helen Mirren, but intense and unsettling.
Okay.
Willem Dafoe, Steve Buscemi, Christopher Walken, Javier Bardem. What's the Jesus Trejo?
Danny
Trejo. Yeah. Why did I say
Jesus Trejo is a very funny comedian that we know.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Danny Trejo is.
I wonder if they're related.
Danny Trejo owns donuts.
The donuts.
Yes.
Wasn't he actually imprisoned in real life?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
Baller.
Yeah, he made donuts in prison. I can't believe it.
Best donuts.
That is really unkind. You weren't there. You don't know what happened. Soap.
I used to be the donut. In prison.
Oh God, we're terrible. So you brought that up, but tell me more. What's
I just was wondering,
there?
like, what are you saying? Time. Okay. Yeah. Like,
no, it's too fun.
I know.
Okay.
Well, it begs me to wonder what has caused those faces in their life. It's not the acting. It's probably something that's gone on in their life where they've made repeated expressions.
But it's also what makes them beautiful.
Absolutely. That's why they're
I've seen
hireable.
Dafoe on stage too, and man, he is gorgeous.
Really? I mean,
He's
I'm not saying
gorgeous. He's a specimen.
Yes.
Yep.
But that's part of it. It's like, I think that's comfort levels too. And it all sort of dovetails into this, right? Like this part of your instrument, if you are comfortable with that, it's very hard for other people to be critical of it, right? I don't like when I get scowly. And it's funny, sometimes I look at I have kind of a funky face sometimes, but my face can hold a lot of makeup. So it can change the way it looks, which I think is good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a positive for what I do, but it changes me. And I think in turn and in kind, so does expressing. Wow, I had no idea when you gave me the subject that's what it would turn into. I
wish we had 4 hours,
good.
honestly. Like,
well,
there's
because
so
we haven't
much.
seen each other.
I know,
Sorry.
So true. Yeah.
Well, we do have 4 hours.
Yeah.
We just don't have it here.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
Well, I appreciate it.
Oh
You guys,
God.
I'm very honored to be on this.
Thank you so much for being here.
Well, let's do a part 2 because there's more to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll work that out time zone wise.
Yeah.
And we will add 7 nipples always.
Yes. I like that.
Well, how many do we
Add 7
have?
nipples.
We have
between
6.
us, at least 6. Yeah.
At
There's
least 6.
I have 2 that I know of.
Do we consider our bottle tops? No?
7 nipples.
Sure. Why
See?
not?
8.
Yeah.
I don't have a bottle top, so.
All right. Well, this is going to be out.
Where can people find you on socials?
Not like anybody doesn't know about
your tax return information.
Of course they don't. I mean, listen, I walk around like a normal person. I just happen to occasionally pop up on people's screens, and that's good. I do Instagram. I'm really bad at social media. I wish I was better. I do Instagram. I'm currently on Blue Sky, although I'm so terrible. I never post shit. But Instagram's probably where I am the most.
That's where I see you the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easiest. And I like seeing fun things.
Yeah.
And there are some fun things on there.
So you are some not so fun things.
Is it the Katie Strickland? I think
it might be. Yeah.
God,
I love what you're asking. It's the funniest.
But the way you spell your name is KADEE. In case anybody's
Thanks,
looking
Mom.
for
It wasn't a stage name. That was my mother, and it was a bit
it's
of my
very
existence.
Southern. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the D on there.
Yes, ma'am.
Speaking of D, Sandra,
Hey.
Oh, hey.
Well, it's that's my name.
Yes. All right. So this is going to be
a phallic mic.
Yeah.
Not a magic mic.
From the 70s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Now
All
I'll
right.
go watch Boogie Nights. All right, I'll stop talking. Sorry.
This is going to be out this Wednesday at 3 a.m.
Fast.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
Huh.
I'm on. My esthetician will be on Chicago Fire that night.
Oh my God. So
That's
tune
cool.
into
I'm on that
Chicago
episode.
Fire on what channel is it?
NBC.
NBC. Oh my God. NBC.
I don't even know the time slot.
They'll find it. We all have resources.
I mean, maybe I don't get to watch the episodes in advance, so maybe not. I don't know.
Oh, well.
I bet I'll be expressing real hard.
Oh, yeah. All right. I can't even get into that. All right. Thank you so much for being here. You are the best. And you guys will see you next week, same time on a Wednesday. And
Yeah. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Yay.
I love bomb you.
Yeah.
Yay.